Hello, English learner. Welcome back to English Speaking and Listening Club. I am so happy you are here with me today. Right now, in this very moment, you have made a choice to invest in yourself, to grow, to learn, and to become better. And I want you to know that this choice is beautiful. This choice is powerful. This choice shows that somewhere deep inside you, there is a desire to change, to improve, to become the person you know you can be. I honor that desire. I respect that commitment. And today, I want to share something with you that will touch your heart and change your perspective. Today, I want to tell you a story, a powerful story, a story that will teach you one of the most important lessons in life, a story that will teach you self-respect. Self-respect. These two words contain the secret to confidence, happiness, success, and peace. Self-respect is the foundation of everything good in your life. Self-respect determines how people treat you. Self-respect determines what opportunities you accept or reject. Self-respect determines how you speak, how you walk, how you make decisions, how you spend your time. Self-respect is not something you are born with. Self-respect is something you build. Self-respect is something you practice. Self-respect is something you choose every single day through your actions, your words, and your decisions. Many people live their entire lives without self-respect. They let people disrespect them. They accept treatment they do not deserve. They settle for less than they are worth. They compromise their values. They ignore their needs. They silence their voice. They make themselves small to make others comfortable. They apologize for existing. They feel unworthy of good things. They believe they do not matter. And this belief creates a painful life. A life of frustration, resentment, sadness, and regret. But it does not have to be this way. You can learn self-respect. You can build self-respect. You can practice self-respect. And today's story will show you how. This story is about a young man named David. David lived in a small village. He was a kind person. He had a good heart. He always wanted to help people. He always wanted to make people happy. He always wanted to be liked by everyone. David worked hard every day. He had a small farm where he grew vegetables. Every week, he would take his vegetables to the market in the town to sell them. This is how he earned his living. This is how he supported himself. One day, David went to the market as usual. He set up his small table. He arranged his vegetables nicely. He waited for customers. After some time, a wealthy merchant came to his table. This merchant was well known in the town. He was rich. He was powerful. He owned many shops. Many people feared him because he was arrogant and rude. The merchant looked at David's vegetables. He picked up some tomatoes, examined them, and then said, "These vegetables are not very good quality. I will buy them, but I will only pay half of your asking price." David knew his vegetables were fresh and good quality. He knew the merchant was trying to take advantage of him, but David was afraid. He was afraid of offending the merchant. He was afraid the merchant would speak badly about him. He was afraid of losing this sale. He was afraid of conflict. So David agreed. He sold his vegetables for half the price. He told himself it was okay. He told himself at least he made some money. He told himself it was better than arguing. But inside, David felt bad. He felt small. He felt weak. He felt like he did not respect himself. The next week, David returned to the market. The same merchant came again. This time the merchant offered even less money. He said, "Last week you accepted my price, so these vegetables must not be worth much. I will pay even less today." And again David was afraid. Again he wanted to avoid conflict. Again he accepted the low price. Again he felt terrible inside. This pattern continued week after week. The merchant kept offering less and less money. And David kept accepting because he was afraid to say no. He was afraid to stand up for himself. He was afraid to demand respect. After several months of this pattern, David barely made enough money to survive. He was working hard on his farm every day, but he was selling his vegetables for almost nothing. He felt angry at the merchant. He felt used. He felt frustrated. But even more than that, he felt angry at himself. He felt disappointed in himself. He knew he was allowing this to happen. He knew he was not respecting himself. He knew he was accepting treatment he did not deserve. And this knowledge was painful. One evening, David sat under a tree feeling sad and frustrated. An old wise woman from his village walked by. She saw the sadness on David's face and sat down next to him. She asked him what was wrong. David told her the whole story. He told her about the merchant. He told her about accepting low prices. He told her about feeling weak and powerless. The old woman listened carefully. When David finished, she was quiet for a moment. Then she looked into his eyes and said something that changed David's life forever. She said, "David, you are angry at the merchant, but the merchant is not your problem. You are your problem. The merchant treats you badly because you allow it. The merchant disrespects you because you disrespect yourself. You cannot control how the merchant behaves. You can only control how you respond. Right now, you are teaching the merchant that you do not value yourself. You are teaching him that your work has no worth. You are teaching him that he can treat you any way he wants and you will accept it. And he believes you. Why? Because you believe it too." David felt shocked. He wanted to argue. He wanted to say the merchant was the bad person, not him. But deep down, he knew the old woman was right. He knew he was allowing this treatment. He knew he was not standing up for himself. He knew he was not respecting himself. The old woman continued, "David, self-respect is not about being rude or aggressive. Self-respect is about knowing your worth and not accepting less. Self-respect is about setting boundaries and keeping them. Self-respect is about saying no when something is not right, even if saying no is uncomfortable. Self-respect is about treating yourself the way you want others to treat you." She then told David, "Next week when you go to the market, decide your price. Decide the minimum you will accept. When the merchant comes and offers less, say no. Politely but firmly say no. Tell him your price. Tell him that is what your vegetables are worth. Do not argue, do not explain, do not apologize, just state your price and stand firm. If he does not want to pay, that is his choice. Let him walk away. Trust that other customers will come. Trust that your vegetables have value. Trust that you deserve fair payment. This is self-respect." David felt afraid thinking about this. What if the merchant got angry? What if no one else bought his vegetables? What if he made no money that week? These fears filled his mind. But the old woman looked at him kindly and said, "David, what you fear has already happened. The merchant is already disrespecting you. You are already making almost no money. You are already suffering. The only difference is that if you stand up for yourself, at least you will respect yourself. And that respect is worth more than the merchant's money. When you respect yourself, something changes inside you. When you respect yourself, others begin to respect you too. Not everyone, but the right people. And those are the only people who matter." David thought about these words all week. He thought about self-respect. He thought about how he had been treating himself. He thought about the pattern he had created, and he made a decision. He decided to follow the old woman's advice. He decided to respect himself no matter what happened. The next market day, David went with a clear decision. He knew his prices. He knew his minimum. He knew he would not accept less. As expected, the merchant came to his table. He looked at the vegetables and said, "I will give you the same as last week." David took a deep breath. His heart was beating fast. His hands were shaking slightly. But he looked at the merchant and said calmly and clearly, "No, thank you. My price is this amount. This is what these vegetables are worth. If you want to buy them, this is the price. If not, that is okay." The merchant looked surprised. He was not used to David saying no. He laughed and said, "You are joking. You always accept my price." David replied quietly but firmly, "Not anymore. This is my price." The merchant got angry. He said, "You are foolish. No one else will pay this price. You will go home with no money." David felt afraid, but he stayed calm. He said, "Maybe, but I will go home with my self-respect." The merchant looked at David with anger and disbelief. Then he walked away. David watched him leave. Part of him wanted to call the merchant back to accept the low price to avoid losing the sale, but he did not. He stood firm. He respected himself. For the next hour, David stood at his table with no customers. He started to doubt himself. He started to think maybe he made a mistake. Maybe he should have accepted the merchant's price. Maybe he was being foolish. But then something happened. A woman came to his table. She looked at his vegetables. She asked the price. David told her. She smiled and said, "These are beautiful vegetables and your price is fair. I will buy them." David felt a wave of relief and joy. The woman bought half of his vegetables at his full price. He earned more from her than he had earned from the merchant in the last month. Then another customer came, and another. By the end of the day, David had sold all his vegetables at fair prices. He earned more money than he had earned in a long time, but more important than the money, David felt different inside. He felt strong. He felt proud. He felt like he respected himself. He had faced his fear. He had set a boundary. He had stood firm. And he had proven to himself that he was worth respect. The next week, the merchant came back to David's table. David felt nervous, but he stayed calm. The merchant said, "I see you sold your vegetables last week. I will offer you a fair price today." And he offered David's asking price. David was shocked. The merchant, who had been disrespecting him for months, was now respecting him. What changed? David's self-respect. When David started respecting himself, the merchant had no choice but to respect him too. When David valued his work, the merchant saw that value. When David set boundaries, the merchant respected those boundaries. From that day forward, David never accepted less than he deserved. He set his prices based on the value of his work. He said no to people who tried to take advantage of him. He walked away from deals that did not respect him, and something amazing happened. His business grew. Better customers came. People respected him. People valued his work. People paid fair prices, and David felt good about himself. He felt confident, he felt worthy, he felt peaceful. This is what self-respect creates. Now you might be thinking, this is a nice story, but what does it have to do with learning English? Let me tell you, everything. This story has everything to do with your English learning journey, because learning English is not just about grammar and vocabulary. Learning English is about building confidence, and confidence comes from self-respect. When you respect yourself, you speak even when you are afraid. When you respect yourself, you practice even when it is hard. When you respect yourself, you do not accept excuses from yourself. When you respect yourself, you keep commitments to yourself. Many English learners do not respect themselves. They make promises to themselves and break them. They say they will practice today and then they do not. They commit to studying every day and then they quit after 2 days. They set goals and then they abandon them. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you lose self-respect. Every time you do not keep a commitment to yourself, you tell yourself that you are not worth keeping promises to. Every time you quit on yourself, you teach yourself that you cannot be trusted. And this destroys confidence. This destroys motivation. This destroys progress. Think about David in the story. Every time he accepted the low price from the merchant, he lost respect for himself. Every time he said yes when he should have said no, he felt weaker. Every time he allowed disrespect, he disrespected himself. The same thing happens to you. Every time you say you will practice English and then you do not, you disrespect yourself. Every time you commit to speaking out loud and then you stay silent, you disrespect yourself. Every time you know you should study but you choose to waste time instead, you disrespect yourself. And over time, this pattern destroys your self-respect. It makes you feel weak. It makes you feel like you cannot achieve your goals. It makes you give up. But the story also shows you the solution. David changed his situation by changing his behavior. He started respecting himself by keeping his boundaries. He started valuing himself by stating his worth. He started believing in himself by standing firm in his decisions. You can do the same. You can build self-respect in your English learning journey. How? By keeping promises to yourself. By doing what you said you would do. By practicing when you committed to practice. By speaking when you committed to speak. By not accepting excuses from yourself. Self-respect in English learning means you do not speak badly about yourself. You do not say, "My English is terrible," or "I am stupid," or "I will never learn." These words disrespect you. These words hurt you. These words make you weak. People with self-respect do not talk about themselves this way. Instead, you say, "I am learning," or "I am improving," or "I am working on this." These words respect you. These words honor your effort. These words build you up. Self-respect in English learning means you do not compare yourself to others in a way that makes you feel inferior. You do not look at someone else's English and feel worthless. You do not measure your value by someone else's progress. You respect your own journey. You respect your own pace. You respect your own progress. You celebrate your own growth without needing to be better than someone else. Self-respect in English learning means you set boundaries with yourself. You decide when you will practice and you keep that commitment. You decide what standards you will maintain and you do not lower them when things get hard. You decide what behavior you will accept from yourself and what you will not accept. When you feel like quitting, self-respect says, "No, I committed to this, I will continue." When you feel like making excuses, self-respect says, "No, I will keep my promise to myself." When you feel like giving up, self-respect says, "No, I am worth the effort." Let me tell you how this story relates to a real English learner I know. Her name was Linda. Linda was from Thailand. She wanted to speak English fluently for years. She tried many times. She bought courses. She hired teachers. She joined groups. But she always quit. She would start with excitement and then stop after a few weeks. She would make big plans and then not follow through. She would promise herself she would practice every day and then skip days, then weeks, then months. This pattern repeated for 5 years. Linda felt terrible about herself. She felt like a failure. She felt weak. She felt like she could not trust herself. Every time she thought about learning English, she felt anxiety and shame. Anxiety because she wanted to learn, shame because she kept quitting. She was stuck in this painful cycle. Then Linda heard the story of David and the merchant. This story made her realize something. She realized that every time she broke a promise to herself, she was like David accepting the low price. She was disrespecting herself. She was teaching herself that her commitments do not matter. She was telling herself that she is not worth keeping promises to. This realization hit Linda hard. She cried. She felt sad about all the years she had wasted. But then she felt something else. She felt determination. She decided to change. She decided to build self-respect by keeping small promises to herself. She did not make big plans this time. She did not promise to practice 2 hours every day. She made one small promise. She promised herself she would speak English out loud for just 5 minutes every single day. 5 minutes. That is all. And then Linda did something different. She kept that promise. Day 1, 5 minutes. Day 2, 5 minutes. Day 3, 5 minutes. Some days she felt motivated and wanted to practice more. Some days she felt tired and wanted to skip, but she kept her promise. 5 minutes every single day. No excuses, no exceptions. And something beautiful started happening. Linda started respecting herself. Every day she kept her promise, she felt stronger. Every day she followed through, she trusted herself more. Every day she honored her commitment, she valued herself more. After 30 days of keeping this small promise, Linda felt different. She felt proud. She felt capable. She felt like someone who does what she says she will do, and this feeling was powerful. This feeling gave her confidence. Not confidence that her English was perfect. Confidence that she could trust herself. Confidence that when she makes a commitment, she keeps it. This is self-respect, and this self-respect changed everything. Linda continued this practice. After 90 days, she increased to 10 minutes daily. After 6 months, 15 minutes. After 1 year, she was practicing 30 minutes every day, and her English had improved more than it had in the previous 5 years. Not because she had a special method, not because she found a secret technique, but because she built self-respect through keeping commitments to herself. And that self-respect created consistency. That consistency created progress. That progress created fluency. Today, Linda speaks English confidently, but she says the most valuable thing she gained was not English fluency. It was self-respect. She says learning to keep promises to herself changed her entire life. She applied this principle to other areas. She started exercising daily because she committed to it. She started saving money because she promised herself she would. She started pursuing her dreams because she trusted herself to follow through. All of this started with the simple act of respecting herself enough to keep a 5-minute daily promise. This can be your story too. You can build self-respect. You can learn to keep promises to yourself. You can become someone who trusts yourself, but you must start small. You must make one small commitment and keep it. Not a huge commitment that you will break. A tiny commitment that you can definitely keep. 5 minutes of speaking English every day. That is all. Can you commit to this? Can you respect yourself enough to keep this small promise? If you commit to this and actually do it, you are building self-respect. Every single day you keep this promise, you are telling yourself, I matter. My commitments matter. I am worth keeping promises to. I can trust myself. And these messages build confidence. These messages build strength. These messages build the foundation of a successful life. But if you commit to this and then break it, you are destroying self-respect. You are telling yourself, I do not matter. My commitments do not matter. I am not worth keeping promises to. I cannot trust myself. And these messages destroy confidence. These messages create weakness. These messages create the foundation of a frustrated life. Choice is yours. Every single day you choose. You choose to respect yourself or disrespect yourself. You choose to keep your promise or break it. You choose to build confidence or destroy it. This choice is in your hands. Nobody else can make this choice for you. Your English teacher cannot make you respect yourself. Your friends cannot make you keep promises to yourself. Your family cannot make you value yourself. Only you can do this. This is your responsibility. This is your power. This is your opportunity. Let me tell you what self-respect looks like in practical daily life as an English learner. Self-respect wakes up when you committed to wake up, even when you feel tired. Self-respect practices speaking even when you feel shy or afraid. Self-respect continues when things are hard instead of quitting when things are uncomfortable. Self-respect says no to distractions during practice time because your commitment matters. Self-respect corrects mistakes without shame because mistakes are part of learning. Self-respect celebrates small progress because growth deserves recognition. Self-respect asks for help when needed because learning is more important than ego. Self-respect protects practice time from other people's demands because your goals matter. Self-respect is also knowing when to rest. Self-respect is not about punishing yourself. Self-respect is not about being harsh or critical. Self-respect is about treating yourself with the same kindness, firmness, and consistency that you would treat someone you deeply respect. Would you let someone you respect break all their promises? No. Would you let someone you respect quit every time things get hard? No. Would you let someone you respect speak badly about themselves constantly? No. So do not do these things to yourself. You deserve your own respect. Think about the people you respect most in life. What qualities do they have? Probably integrity. They do what they say they will do, probably consistency. They show up regularly, probably courage. They do hard things, probably honesty. They are truthful with themselves and others, probably perseverance. They do not quit when things are difficult. You respect these qualities in others. Now develop these qualities in yourself. Become someone you respect. Have integrity with yourself by keeping your commitments. Have consistency with yourself by practicing daily. Have courage with yourself by speaking despite fear. Have honesty with yourself by acknowledging your mistakes. Have perseverance with yourself by continuing when it is hard. When you become someone you respect, an interesting thing happens. Other people start respecting you too, just like in David's story. When David started respecting himself by setting boundaries with the merchant started respecting him. When you start respecting yourself by keeping commitments to your English practice, people around you start respecting your goals. When you start respecting yourself by protecting your practice time, people start respecting your time. When you start respecting yourself by speaking confidently despite mistakes, people start respecting your courage. Self-respect is magnetic. Self-respect commands respect from others naturally. But here is something important to understand. You do not build self-respect to gain other people's respect. You build self-respect because you deserve it. You build self-respect because it feels good. You build self-respect because it makes life better. You build self-respect because it gives you peace and confidence. Other people's respect is just a bonus, a side effect, a natural consequence, but it is not the goal. The goal is to respect yourself for yourself. Let me share the most important lesson from David's story. The turning point was not when the merchant started respecting him. The turning point was when David decided to respect himself regardless of what the merchant did. David said no to the low price even though he did not know if anyone else would buy his vegetables. He chose self-respect over certainty. He chose dignity over money. He chose his values over his fear. And this choice changed everything. You must make the same choice with your English learning. You must choose to respect yourself even when you do not see results yet. You must choose to keep your practice commitment even when progress seems slow. You must choose to speak even when you feel afraid. You must choose your goals even when people do not understand. You must choose self-respect even when it is uncomfortable. This choice is hard. This choice requires courage. But this choice changes everything. I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from now. Imagine you spent this year building self-respect. Every day you kept your small promise to practice English. Every day you spoke out loud for at least 5 minutes. Every day you honored your commitment to yourself. How do you feel 1 year later? You feel proud. You feel strong. You feel confident. You respect yourself. And your English is dramatically better. You can speak more fluently. You can express yourself more clearly. You can communicate more confidently. This is the future that self-respect creates. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine you spent this year the same way you have been living, making promises and breaking them, planning to practice and not doing it, wanting to improve but not taking consistent action. How do you feel 1 year later? You feel disappointed. You feel frustrated. You feel stuck. You do not respect yourself. And your English is the same, still struggling, still afraid, still silent. This is the future that lack of self-respect creates. Which future do you want? You choose. Right now, today, this moment, you choose by what you do next. After you finish listening to this message, will you practice speaking English? Will you keep a small promise to yourself? Will you build self-respect through action? Or will you feel inspired but do nothing? Will you make another broken promise? Will you continue the pattern of disrespecting yourself? The choice is yours. Let me end with the wisdom the old woman gave to David. She told him, self-respect is not about being better than others. Self-respect is about being true to yourself. Self-respect is not about what you have. Self-respect is about who you are. Self-respect is not given by others. Self-respect is built by you through your daily choices. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build it. Every time you honor your values, you strengthen it. Every time you treat yourself with dignity, you reinforce it. And once you have true self-respect, nobody can take it from you. Not the merchant, not difficult circumstances, not other people's opinions. It is yours, forever. This is what I want for you, true self-respect that nobody can take from you. Self-respect built on the foundation of keeping promises to yourself. Self-respect that gives you confidence to speak English freely. Self-respect that gives you courage to make mistakes and learn. Self-respect that gives you strength to continue when things are hard. Self-respect that gives you peace knowing you are doing your best. This is possible. This is available. This starts today. This starts with you. This starts with one small promise kept. So make that promise right now. Promise yourself you will practice speaking English for 5 minutes every single day for the next 7 days. Just 7 days, just 5 minutes. This is your test. This is your opportunity to build self-respect. Write it down. Say it out loud. Commit to it. And then, most importantly, do it. Keep this promise, all 7 days. No excuses, no exceptions. Prove to yourself that you can trust yourself. Show yourself that your commitments matter. Teach yourself that you are worth respecting. And when you complete these 7 days, notice how you feel. Notice the pride. Notice the confidence. Notice the self-respect growing inside you. Then commit to 7 more days, then 30 days, then 90 days, then 1 year. Build your self-respect day by day, promise by promise, action by action. This is how transformation happens. This is how fluency develops. This is how confidence grows. This is how you become someone you respect. Thank you for listening to this story. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about your growth. Now take this lesson and apply it. Build self-respect through action. Keep promises to yourself. Practice speaking English daily. Become someone you trust. Become someone you respect. And watch how your English, your confidence, and your entire life transforms. If this story touched your heart, if this message helped you, if this lesson changed your perspective, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Share this story with other English learners who need to hear it. Join this community of people who are building self-respect, keeping commitments, and transforming their lives through consistent action. Now go practice speaking English right now. 5 minutes, keep your promise, build your self-respect, honor yourself, respect yourself. Love yourself enough to do what you committed to do. Your fluent future is built on self-respect. Start building it today, start building it now. This is your time, this is your moment, this is your opportunity. Respect it, respect yourself, go practice. Now.